Today's podcast, I had Austin Rutherford on where we talk about how he made $107,000 on his very first deal. We also talk about how he was doing over $100,000 rehabs on almost all of his deals starting out, and how he transitioned into doing social media and buying millions of dollars in crypto. So you guys don't want to miss out. It was a super fun conversation. Now, let's jump into it. Are you looking to grow your real estate investing business? My company, Future Flipper, can help. We've taught hundreds of people all over the country how to flip, wholesale, and buy rental properties. And it doesn't matter where you're at in your investing journey. Whether you're trying to get your first deal or scale your company, Future Flipper can help. We have courses, coaching, and events for all levels of investors. So if you want to take the next step, go to futureflipper.com and book a free consultation to see how we can best help you. Once again, that's futureflipper.com. If you've ever wanted to invest with me on my real estate deals, it's now possible. At Pineda Capital, we're purchasing value-add real estate all across the country. This includes multifamily, commercial, and land development. The best part is, with my network, social media presence, and marketing strategies, we're able to get the very best deals that others don't have access to. You can join in with me on those deals if you're an accredited investor. If you want to learn more, head over to pinedacapital.com to see our current opportunities. Once again, that's pinedacapital.com. Welcome to the Ryan Pineda Show, where our mission is to invest.
I only expect to make money in things that I understand.
Innovate.
It's about believing in the future and thinking that the future will be better than the past.
And inspire. I am much more likely to hit my goal just due to putting it out there.
You're now rocking with the best.
Special guest, my man Austin Rutherford, all the way out of Florida, originally Columbus, Ohio, man. What's up?
What's up, man? I'm looking forward to this. Appreciate you having me out.
Yeah, dude. Are you the Ohio State fan or what?
I'm definitely a Buckeye fan, absolutely.
Yeah. You like Justin Fields? What'd you think of him?
I thought he was great.
Yeah. We'll see how he does this year. We'll see. But I'm a Packers fan, so I'm hoping he kind of sucks. But yeah, man, I've seen you so much on social media. We've talked a lot, and now it's just kind of like weird meeting in person. It's not weird, but it's just like weird that I already feel like I know you, but now we met.
100%, bro. It's like social media, you feel like you know people nowadays just from clicking through stories and stuff.
Yeah, super crazy. And when I watch your stories, I see a ton of different things that you're talking about. I mean, you look like you're killing it in Wholesaling and doing some flips. You've got a pretty big rental portfolio, I think like 60 doors, right?
Yep.
You're also, obviously putting out a ton of content. You're doing crypto.
Yep.
You got a lot going on.
Trying to stay busy, absolutely. You know, I see three really big opportunities in today's world. One of which is real estate. You know, that's been around, it's going to be around. Two of which is building a personal brand, getting eyeballs, and three of which is crypto. So, that's why I'm spending a lot of time on it. Yeah.
I totally agree with all three. I would add in the fourth of e-commerce, which we both have done.
We talked about that earlier.
Yeah. So I think there's for sure like four huge things.
Yeah.
But why don't you just tell everybody, kind of where you came from, how you got to where you're at today, man?
Yeah, man, no, absolutely. So back from Columbus, Ohio, born and raised, and ended up buying my first house when I was 20 years old. I kind of have like two starts. One is a rental property, and then one's a flip. So first one I ever bought was when I was 20. It was a rental property. Had like 35 grand saved at the time. Just put it as a down payment. Got a regular conventional mortgage. And then I was broke. So
how much was that house?
I think it was like 210 or 220 or something like that.
Dude, you know what's crazy? I was thinking when you told me Ohio, I'm like, dude, that's where they have like these $20,000-$30,000 houses.
They do have those.
Yeah, but that's not what you bought. You bought like a real house.
Yeah, it was a duplex on Ohio State's campus. So
okay,
it was cash flowing. I mean, I just sold it a couple weeks ago, but
What'd you sell it for?
$370.
Okay, so you got it for $200. How many years ago?
8 years ago.
Yeah.
So it worked
doubled
out,
up
for sure.
Plus all the cash flow.
Absolutely. So bought that, then was dead broke, got my real estate license, met a mentor at the age of 21 that taught me the flipping game, and then ended up buying my first flip at 21, sold it at 22. It was a $74,000 purchase, $170,000 rehab, sold it at $375,000, made $107,000 net profit 4 days after my 22nd birthday, and just literally reinvested every penny into the business and just blew it up from there.
Bro, tell me how I don't even think I've done a $174,000 rehab. Our houses in Vegas, they're in pretty good shape, dude. Like, we don't have to go all crazy. And I know out in Ohio, you guys got old houses that literally need
1902.
everything.
Yeah.
So what was it like? I mean, dude, the rehab costs twice as much as the house.
Yeah. It was, so I was 21 years old when I bought the house. No business, no real estate, no construction experience. And I put the numbers on a spreadsheet, and I was like, this looks like a good deal.
I'm going to make money.
And got into it. I mean, we literally did everything. You know, we did plumbing, electric, HVAC, 25 grand into the foundation, new 2-car garage, had to trench the entire gutter system out to the alley. Literally anything that can happen with the house, we did it on that deal. So it was definitely a learning process. It was 600 square foot addition on it. So like it was tough to get through it, but when I was done, one, I made money, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And two, I was like, man, if I can do this, like, there's nothing I can't do.
The other flips are easy.
Yeah. So, but the first like 3-4 years of business, I never did a flip less than $100K in rehab.
Wow.
So we were doing like heavy construction. Now we don't do those because
Dude, I try and stay away from them. The only way I'm doing heavy construction is a luxury flip.
Yeah.
Like here in Vegas, okay, if I spend over $1 million, sure, I got to go put some major money into this.
Yeah.
But, dude, a $75,000 house, no way.
But we were picking things up for 20, 40, 60 grand, putting $100,000 to $150,000 into it.
Wow.
It was nuts.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I used to run them personally. I ran 15 at one time.
You were the GC project manager, everything.
Every day, like 7 to 7, I was just running job sites. Made a ton of money doing it, but it was tough.
Yeah.
We don't do those no more.
Good. So tell me how those first bunch of years went. I mean, you were going after these heavy rehab deals because probably all the other investors didn't really want them too much.
For sure.
But
probably for a good reason.
Yeah, but you made money.
Yeah.
So still worth it. What point did you realize I should probably do this a different way?
Man, it wasn't until like a year or two ago. So I was beating my head against the wall for 3, 4, 5 years. And again, we made money for the first 3-4 years. It was just me. No assistants, no project managers, no nothing. Finally got around to hiring an assistant. We play these like mental games in our head. Like it's a cost to hire somebody. We can't afford to hire somebody. And then when you hire them, like you realize how much time you have back and then how much more money you can go out there and make. So finally hired an assistant, then hired, acquisitions, dispositions, project manager. But we were still doing like really heavy rehabs. I've lost money, like true loss, like negative on the P&L, like 3 times, I think. Mm-hmm. Now we've lost projected profits a lot.
All the time.
But then like 1.5, 2 years ago, I woke up and I was like, man, like I'm tired of like chasing deals. Like every day you wake up, it's a new chase. Because with flips and wholesales, like you make money on it, but you got to go out and you got to find that next deal. So like I had like 10 rental properties at the time and then just completely made a pivot. And we ended up buying like 40 rentals in like 90 or 120 days. And like now that's the focus, is just to continue stack the rental properties. We flip a couple just to like, keep the money coming in. But the goal now over the last like year and a half is just rental properties.
So you said you bought 40 in 90 days. Yeah. How did you do that?
I mean, a lot of the marketing kind of hit at the same time. So we bought a ton of duplexes. We bought an 8-unit and then a bunch of single families. So, the 8-unit and the bunch of duplexes obviously helped.
Yeah.
And then some singles along with that.
What's like the average price point of those?
So the singles, like our ARV is like 125 to 200. So
what will that rent for? Are you like seeing the 1% roll? What are you seeing?
We're not getting quite there. So, we're probably renting like 1,100 to like 1,500.
Okay. So
we're like, I don't know, 0.9% or something like that. But our taxes are pretty low. My goal is to cash flow $400 a door.
Okay.
So that's kind of our buy it using the Burr method, no money out of pocket, and then cash flow positive $400 a month.
Okay. Got it. So how are you financing that many properties?
Private money.
Oh.
So I've been raised, $20 million to fund all my real estate deals. Everything I've done except 2 deals. 2 was with hard money. Everything else has been with private money. And we buy them with private and then either sell them and pay them back or obviously refinance with a bank and then pay off the lenders. But almost everything I've done has been with private money.
Wow. So let's talk about money for a little bit. On the refi side, like at this point you're probably tapped out on conventional loans.
For sure.
So what are you doing on refis?
Yeah, so we're going to like small community banks, and a lot of them, like we'll package like 3, 5, 7 properties at once and then refi out. And like pre-COVID, we were getting like 25, 30 years, 4 to 4.2%, and like 10-year locked, some 25, 30 years locked, which was amazing.
Yeah.
And then COVID hit, and then everything went down to like 20 years, and we're getting 75 to 80% LTV pre-COVID. Then COVID hit, and then people dropped to like 65 to 70%.
Yeah.
Which like screws up the deal. You got a lot of money out of pocket at that point. But since then we've got back to like 25 years, 75% LTV. We ended up selling a couple of those properties just because it would have been too heavy for us to bring money to the table.
Yeah.
But those are the terms we're seeing in small local community banks.
That's cool, man. So tell me about the private money. How have you been raising all this money to buy these deals?
It's just talking and networking to people. I'm sure you get the question all the time, well, how do I get the money? Where's the money at? And I mean, the answer is it's literally everywhere.
Right.
Like anywhere you talk to, anywhere you go, banks, restaurants, country clubs, golf courses, which you're at a lot now.
Yep.
I mean, just having conversations with people.
Yeah, it's funny, man. I've been golfing a lot, and people are like, why are you golfing so much? Like, you could be doing some other, like, more productive business stuff. And I'm like, well, for one, I'm fine with where I'm at in business. I don't care. Like, I'm just enjoying life.
Thanks.
But two, I am working.
Yeah.
Like, being at the golf course actually is a very good use of time for me. Not only do I get to have fun, I get to work out, but I also meet a ton of people.
100%.
Like, they have this Friday game that I really make an effort to go to. It's Fridays at 1 p.m. And during that game, it's just anybody can go who's a member, and they'll pair you up with somebody completely new. Great way to meet people.
100%.
And after, they have everyone goes to the bar and hangs out.
Yep.
I'm like, this is great.
For sure.
Like, I want to meet these guys, because to be in a country club anyway, you got to have already been established. Like, normal bums ain't joining.
For sure.
So it's really good that way. And then I've also been getting paid to golf too,
That's amazing.
a random thing, but it's a thing now.
Thanks. I mean, but like it's literally, I always say you have to be interesting for people to be interested.
Right.
So if you're talking to somebody and they're like, what are you doing? You're, oh, I'm in real estate. Like, oh, cool. And then they're on to the next person. So, saying something out of the box, I'm a real estate developer and I teach other people how to invest their money, or, I get paid to actually be here to golf today. People are like, what? How do you do that? So like saying something to pique curiosity, and then that conversation can lead to all types of opportunities.
And I love that for sure. Like, I've never been a hard sales kind of guy.
Yeah.
I'm totally down to plug any and everything that I do all the time, but I'm never going to like shove it down your throat. Like, hey, you better buy this right now. Invest with me right this moment, like whatever. So if I'm at the golf course, let's just say in this setting with brand new people I've never met, the natural question is always going to be, what do you do?
Always.
Yeah. What do you do for work? And now it's a weird thing for me to answer, because I'm like, well, where do I begin? I think I'm just a podcaster now at this point, or a YouTuber, but I'll just start talking about it. I'll be like, so I've done a lot of things, real estate's one of the big ones. We do over 100 deals a year, mainly fix and flip. And then I'll just start talking about other stuff that I'm doing. Like, I'm not lying. I'm not bragging. I'm just talking about what's happening.
Yep.
And I'll be like, we're actually in contract on a 334 unit property right now in Georgia that we're buying.
Yep.
I say that, and they're like, okay, like, what's up with this guy,
100%.
right? And I don't need to hard sell. Like, they will sell themselves if, not by the end of the round. I'm not going to go raise money in 2 hours of them knowing me, but over time, they're going to start doing their own research on me, most likely.
Yep.
And by the next time we golf or whatever happens, I'm like, dude, after we talked, I looked into what you were saying, man. Like, you got a lot going on.
Yep. How can I be a part of it?
Yeah.
Yep.
And I don't have to hard pitch them.
100%.
And I think that's also where social media comes into play, where it's like they need to be able to, like, okay, you got their interest, like you said. You said something that piqued it. Now where's, like, the backup? Like, how are you going to back it up without you having to do it?
Yeah. I mean, social media is like instant, literally overnight credibility. Like, people tell me all the time, like, I met you and I didn't really know who you were, but I Googled you or looked you up on Instagram and like, man, I want to be a part of it. You know, I want to get into real estate. I want to lend money. Whatever it is, like, social media is an amazing platform, and I think a lot of people are missing that, the opportunity that comes with social media right now.
Yeah, I'm totally down with that. I mean, that's why I'm working so hard at just continue to put out content and grow and get better at it. But I just think on the private money side, when you combine, like you said, just having some type of credibility on social media, and look, you don't have to be doing all these deals, but just like be out there.
Yeah.
Don't have a blank profile where if somebody does want to look you up, they have no idea about who you are. You're a ghost. Like,
it's private with 0 posts.
Yeah, because think about this. Even from my perspective, people go to me all the time with an opportunity, right? And I'm the ultimate opportunist. I'm always looking at any and everything. I won't discount you just because you haven't done anything. If you got a good idea or a deal or something, I'm gonna give you the time if I believe, kind of into it. But guess what's gonna happen after our meeting? I'm gonna go look you up.
Facts.
And I'm gonna just say, yo, like, if this guy can't even put anything out, like, do I really trust him? Like, what's he hiding?
100%.
That's the thing you think.
100%.
Yeah.
Right? There has to be a reason. I say all the time, like, social media exists in today's world, period. But there's only 2 ways it exists. One is people consume. Other is people produce. So, like, there's no way to get around it. So, like you said, that's like the business card nowadays. I don't know about you, but I don't have business cards. I just tell people to follow me on Instagram.
Yep.
Like that. And when I connect with somebody, I'm like, what's your Instagram?
Yeah.
Like, that's just the world we live in right now.
Yeah, and it's a lot less invasive than giving someone your number, but it's also more beneficial for everyone. It's like, okay, give me your Instagram. Now I can go watch you for the next however long, study and kind of get to know you, even though we're not together.
Yeah.
And then that leads to trust in doing a deal.
100%.
So I'm down with that. Totally agree. How else are you raising money? I mean, we're talking about using social media as like the engine that builds the reputation. But, like I just said, I'll go meet random people at the golf course. Mm-hmm. Where else are you kind of meeting these guys?
I've had a lot of success at other real estate networking events. 2 of my biggest lenders came from there. And there's a lot of people that say, like, they show up to a networking event and they're like, well, there's no money in the room. Like, people don't even know how to access the money that they have. So part of it's teaching them, but real estate networking events, and then honestly just asking for referrals. Asking them to introduce you to somebody else. Once you pay them back and they see that it's real, asking for referrals. And then, like, any friends, parents, aunts, uncles, cousins of my friends, like, I'm talking to them about it too. I go to their family reunions.
Hey, I got the barbecue. I'm here. I got the 6-pack.
So, I mean, it's literally like everybody I talk to, I'm trying to figure out how I can help them, whether that's, giving them an opportunity to invest with me, whether that's giving them an opportunity to learn something that I'm doing. Like, I genuinely feel like I want to help people.
Yeah.
And when you're looking at it from that perspective instead of, what can I take from this person, but you're looking to help and give, it goes a long way. And the other thing with private money, when I first started, I felt like I was asking. I was like, can I please borrow $200,000 for this house? But then you realize, like, you're truly giving them, like, an opportunity of a lifetime. It's very difficult to get the type of returns with the security that they have.
Right.
So when you change the mindset and know that it's an opportunity, it becomes a lot easier to have the conversation and raise money.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing you mentioned there that really is true is the referral side of things. So I remember my very first private money lender, I met him in Bible study and completely changed the trajectory of my career. I mean, up to that point, I was all hard money, always using my own money for down payments and credit cards. And finally, this guy took a shot on me after I'd proved myself probably with, like, I did 30 flips on my own that way. And, he started me off with $500,000, flipped it a couple times. He made his money. I made my money. He did more, upped it to $1 million. Then he was like, hey, I'm going to tell my friends about you.
Yep.
I didn't ask him, but he just did it out of, A, we're friends and he wanted to help me out, but B, it also, like, people like when they have a good deal or a good investment and they want to tell their buddies and friends, like, dude, this guy's giving me this. It's legit. It's better than all this other stuff.
Yep.
And It just happens all the time. And especially, I mean, you're in crypto, so you see it in the crypto world all the time. They're like, dude, are you in on, whatever coin? Because it's about to pop, dude. And people just always want to be, I guess, right.
Yeah. 100%.
And if you play on that and you're treating your lenders good, you can make them right and look good, and then you look good, and everyone wins.
100%. And I see a lot of people, again, like I've told you, I've lost money on deals. I've paid buyers to buy houses from me, but my lender has never not gotten paid what I told them they were going to get paid. I see a lot of people, when things go south, they go back to the lender and they're like, hey, I know he said 10%, but, can I give you like 1%? You're done if you ever do that.
That just, your long-term relationship's gone.
Done. So, like, you have to actually follow through with what you say you're going to do. And, like, I've never taken money on a deal I wouldn't put my own money into.
Right.
I feel like people just buy deals because they just want to get into a deal. And then you put people's money at risk. Things go south. You start not paying people. Like, your career is over once you get to that point.
Yeah. No, same here, man. I've lost on a lot more than 3 deals. I'll say that. Many deals. But I've never lost anyone any money, 100%. And I've always paid them what was owed to them, interest-wise, principal-wise, everything. And, it just, like you said, it's about the long-term game of it. Yeah. And to me, for one, I don't want to go even thinking I owe this person money. Yeah. Like, dude, even if that were the case, like, let's just say there was a doomsday scenario where I literally could not pay this person back. It would be more about, hey, you know what? I can't give you your interest today. Let me give you the principal, that we can get back right now, but I'll pay you the interest over time.
Figure something out.
Yeah, just do whatever it takes to make that person whole.
Agreed, 100%. And unfortunately, not a lot of people think that way.
No, I mean, I think that comes from just such living in the now of like, oh man, this problem is so big, just like it consumes them, and then they're like, dude, I can't. There's no way I'll ever be able to do this. Yeah. Like, dude, it's like you look at a problem from 2 years ago, and then you look at it today, and you're like, why was I stressing over that so much?
100%.
It's crazy.
Kind of from that, too, I feel like we talked about social media a little bit. I feel like people see things on social media or people doing things on social media, and they think, like, that's the real world. Like, social media, you see the best 1 or 2% of people. Like, we still have the same struggles that other people have. Like, I still wake up some days, I'm like, man, like, how am I going to figure this one out?
Right.
But, like, we find a way to get through it. So, one thing that, like, I got caught up chasing something because it looked cool on social media. And I was like, man, I want that. And then I built towards that. I was like, that's terrible. I don't want anything to do with that. So, I think it's not to get confused with what you see as well. And, like, stay true to yourself. Like, because really the only thing that matters is, like, what do you want at the end of the day? Like, if you want to make $100,000 a year or $100 million a year, that's fine. But, like, there's 2 different types of ways that you have to go about doing that. And whichever one you want is fine, but you got to ask yourself that question.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the tough part with social media is, as humans, we're very much in the comparison game.
100%.
And social media brings comparison to the forefront.
The fullest.
And everybody views their peers differently, right? I actually had this talk with my employees not too long ago because for my employees, they may be comparing themselves to my other employees in another company, right? It's like their peers.
Yeah.
I may be comparing myself to you or to other influencers or guys who've got a following in real estate. Probably not comparing myself to, billionaires and Elon Musk, and they're not, but is Elon comparing himself to Jeff Bezos? Probably.
Yeah.
Because that's his peer.
Yeah.
And I think we all just fall victim to that of like, man, how do I stack up against so-and-so? And like you said, in reality, it doesn't matter.
Agreed.
One, it doesn't matter. It doesn't help you at all. But 2, you don't really know their life.
100%.
How you stack up is probably a lot better than you think.
Yeah.
Compared to just like what you see on the camera.
100% agreed. I mean, you literally see the best at all times.
Right.
And, if you being in the position, I'm sure you would agree with this, that we're in, we've been able to see some behind the curtain things.
Yeah.
And it's not what it always is on social media.
No, not at all. That's why, before you came in, I was telling everybody, I was like, hey, make sure you guys are smiling. Make sure you guys are put your happy face on. you got to put up the front that we need to put up. So, yeah, man, it's crazy, dude. That's why I found it's just so much easier to be transparent, like with everything. It's like, if I lose money, I'm just going to tell you I lost money. Like, if I made money, I don't need to hide that I made money. And like, because it's like the old school way of thinking was you always hide the truth and you just kind of exchange pleasantries. So it's like, if you did really bad, people shouldn't know about it. If you made a lot of money, you don't talk about it, right? And so there's no in between. It's just like, yeah, you don't really know much about a person. But for me now, I'm just like, well, this is, I lost on this deal. I made money here. I was an idiot here. I was pretty smart here. This is what it is. And there's no, like, at that point, there's nothing else to hide.
Yeah, 100%. You're real.
Yeah.
People love that. Question I had for you, speaking about social media, getting like started way back, were you like nervous to post, or was it something you were just like, you love the camera?
No, I did not like the camera. For me, it's funny because I've talked to a lot of influencers who did say that, like, yeah, I love film, I love cinematography, I love editing, I just love creating content. That wasn't me, man.
Yeah.
I never touched edit. I still to this day have never edited a video.
Yeah.
I did not know how to work the camera. I had to like learn it just from watching a YouTube video so I could film a talking head. And then, even in school, it's not like I ever went to film school. I never had a desire to act or do theater, nothing that you would associate with, creating content.
Yeah.
I was always a jock, which I guess in a form is liking the camera.
Yeah.
Because we as jocks like attention, whether people admit it or not. I do enjoy attention of like, I don't know, people admiring, I guess, of like, man, you hit a home run, everybody's cheering you on. There ain't nothing like that. Or you make a sick play, everybody's just, I love that.
Yeah.
But social media is a little different on that aspect because now, you make a video and unfortunately it's not the same. I think, you post, you have no idea how it's going to be perceived.
Yep.
Like it could flop, it could get a lot of views. You may have loved it and you're just getting destroyed in the comments.
Yep.
People are DMing you just, crazy things. So it's different, man. But I will say to your original question of, was I nervous? For sure. Like, I'm like, what do I even say?
Agreed.
What am I going to make a video about? Like, I don't know. And I just literally back 2016, I made my first video on Facebook, just put my camera up or my phone. I was like, I don't even know what I said. I just did a video of like, hey, I just bought this house, whatever. And then it got views and people were like, that's so cool. And I was like, okay, I'm encouraged. Like I got some likes and stuff. And then I make more and I make more. And then I realized, dang, this stuff like I'm not making it for me of like, oh, this makes me feel good, but more of like, dude, this is helping people and it's helping me get more like business and deals. Like, this is cool.
100%. I mean, helping people is amazing. Like, I'm sure you get DMs all the time. Thank you so much. I just got my first deal.
Yep.
I just quit my job. Like that, I got goosebumps just talking about that. Like, that's super rewarding.
Yeah.
But I was like you. Like I hated the camera. I'd be the one to run to the corner of the room when a camera came out. And every business is mindset, right? You just got to understand why you're doing it and what you're doing it for, and it becomes easier and easier. Now we can whip out a camera and do it without even thinking about it, but it takes time and practice to get to that point.
Yeah, and I think you're always pushing the limits on like new things. So like I remember, on Facebook and everything, I just made videos, me in my office, whatever. It was their videos. They did what they're supposed to do. And then I signed up for Instagram. This is like end of 2017, early 2018. And I start posting on stories. I don't know what to post on stories. I'm like, I don't know, whatever. I'll just post this. And I learned that, oh man, posting stories is cool. Like people can kind of see the day-to-day of my life and they like it. They DM me. This is cool. And then last year I jumped into YouTube and TikTok. No idea like how to use these things. And so when I'm making the stupid thumbnails for YouTube's, I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, I look so dumb. This is so, I cannot believe I'm doing this. These expressions and like the shocked face, like, this is not me. And but it's what people on YouTube react to, and like that's what they're accustomed to, and whatever. Same thing with TikTok. Like I start doing these like dances and trends and like weird things, and I'm like, this is so embarrassing. Like, I cannot believe I'm doing this. But eventually I get used to it, you know? Like, why am I pointing at the screen all the time to music? This is so dumb. But I get used to it, and eventually I just don't really care what people think because I like the result of what it did in terms of, hey, maybe it got me more followers, maybe we got more customers, maybe it helps some people. Well, I don't know that pointing and dancing helps people. But if they become a follower, then they can get some real content.
Absolutely.
And eventually, you know, learn something.
No, agreed. You know, something you just get used to. And you got to try new things along the way. You know, it's not always one size fits all. And algorithms change over time. You know, people's preferences change over time. So adjusting with that. And one of my biggest takeaways on social media is, like, you have to, I'll say it again, you got to be interesting for somebody to be interested. You can't just be there and be like, hey, well, you know, I bought this house the other day, and, you know, I'm going to show you through it. No one's listening to that.
A lot of people buy houses.
Yeah. Like, what's interesting about it? Like, what's the hook? Again, get people, like, involved right from the jump. And, you know, somewhat controversial things do good as well. I wouldn't go too, like, but saying, like, being opinionated about things. You know, people will fight in the comments, but just trying different things and standing out. You know, one size doesn't fit all on social media.
Yeah, no, agreed. And I think what you said with being opinionated, like, in what I've been saying about just being transparent and being who you are, it's just like, yo, this is the easiest way to do it. And if you do that, you're going to get the right people to follow you. Yeah. Like, the goal isn't to have the most or to try to appeal to everybody. That's impossible. Because if you just try and appeal to everybody, you're like, nobody's like has a strong opinion about you either.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, I mean, that guy's whatever. He's vanilla. Like, he's just plain. Yeah. But then people really like the guys who have a very strong opinion about it. They're like, yeah, dude, I resonate with that guy.
100%. They'll get behind you.
Yeah.
You know, you don't need 1 million followers. You need 1,000 real, genuine followers, and, like, you're set for life.
Yep.
So just it all comes down to being you at the end of the day. You know, not putting up in front, not trying to do what you think people want. Like, just be you. Everybody's attracted to certain types of your demographic is not my demographic. Right. Different people are attracted for different reasons. So just be you.
Yeah, man. No, I love that. So I want to transition a little bit. I really enjoy social media. It seems like most people who come on the podcast are very much believers and into it. But I also want to jump into crypto and what you've seen on that front. But before we do that, let's hear a quick word from our sponsor. Have you ever wanted to invest in real estate, but you didn't have the time to find deals yourself? That's where Fundrise comes in. Fundrise is a crowdfunding platform that has transacted over $5 billion in real estate and has over 150,000 active investors. While many funds, like my own, require accredited investors, Fundrise allows anyone to invest with as little as $500. If you'd like to learn more, check out fundrise.com. Once again, that's fundrise.com. A quick word from our sponsor. One of the best ways to get off-market real estate deals is through cold calling. And if you want to reach as many people as fast as possible, then you need Batch Dialer. With their predictive dialing technology and built-in CRM, Batch Dialer is one of the top dialers in the industry. You can switch between single or multi-line dialing, as well as do voicemail drops and call recordings. And for being a listener of The Ryan Pineda Show, you'll get a 7-day free trial. Just go to batchdialer.com/Ryan. Once again, that's batchdialer.com/Ryan. Now, back to the show. So tell me about your crypto experience. I see you posting a lot. I sold all my stuff, regrettably, now. I did not have the diamond hands needed to probably cost me $1 million. But nonetheless, tell me about how you got in the game and what you're feeling.
Yeah, so my first time in crypto was 2017 at the peak of the market. I put like $500 into Bitcoin, and then it tanked down to like $100 or $200.
I was gonna say that's mine too, but I put 50,000, and I lost
a couple extra zeros.
Yeah.
And I forgot about it for 4 years. I was like, well, that sucked. On to the next.
Yeah.
And November of 2020, one of my really good friends came to me and he was like, yo, man, like I got it. I was like, all right, what's it? He's like, I'm gonna get back to you. I'm like, what you mean you're gonna get back to me? He said he wanted to do more research and believe that it was real. And then next week he came in. He's like, Bitcoin, bro. Like, this is it.
You're like, dude, I know what that is.
Yeah.
Like, what do you?
And so that night I went home and I watched like literally 10 hours of YouTube videos on Bitcoin. And that's how I became a believer in it. Started out investing. I think my first investment was like $2,500 into Bitcoin. That was 8-9 months ago. And since then I've just immersed myself in it, learned about all the ins and outs, the Ethereum, the ERC20 tokens, different releases, white papers, and everything in between. And, I've definitely lost money on some coins.
Right.
And other ones, I've made multi-millions of dollars on one coin. So I think in the next 3 to 5 years, crypto has the potential to make more millionaires than real estate ever has.
Yeah.
So I think it's like the internet. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity. So people say, invest like 10% of your wealth or whatever. I'm well past that. So
yeah.
I'm definitely hoping for the best, but
how did you deal with so there was the recent dip that, everything got cut in half, some worse. And then after going to all-time highs, how did you stay through it? Just you had that faith, or did you sell? Like, what'd you do?
No, I kept it all. When I first invested, there was definitely a down point. And I sold out and then bought back, made a couple grand or something, thought I knew everything. But you can never time the market. So I invest in coins. A friend of mine said crypto cash flow. Like, we buy real estate, rental properties for cash flow, right? And he told me, said the term crypto cash flow. And I was like, what is that?
Yeah.
And it's how you make interest. It's how you make money by holding crypto. So I went down that rabbit hole. So I own coins that pay me money every day, every month, however long you stake it for, to hold the coins. So to me, I believe in it 3 to 5 years from now. I don't know what it's going to do tomorrow, next week, next month.
Right.
But I invest in coins that I think will be worth a lot more in 3 to 5 years, and that'll pay me interest during the ride.
So are you just doing, what these like BlockFis, and I saw Coinbase is now launching theirs where, they'll pay you a few % on your Bitcoin or your Ethereum?
Yeah, so the Coinbases and the Voyagers and those types of things are centralized exchanges,
right,
which they pay great interest because they use that money to go do other things with. The decentralized exchanges is completely off the grid. They don't pay you interest because the money's your money. There's no middleman in between. So at the beginning, I had it on Voyager, and I was making like 5.5% on Bitcoin or something like that. But the problem is, I think I had like 300 grand on the Voyager app, and you could only withdraw 25 grand a day.
Coinbase was like that for me for a while.
Yeah, and I was like, nah, like I don't like. What's the point of it if like you're?
I need to move this thing tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I moved it all to decentralized exchanges where you don't get interest paid. But there's coins like, Cardano, Hex, where you can stake it outside on a decentralized exchange and get paid interest on it. The interest is coins, right? They'll pay you in coins. And then if the coins go up, you get the appreciation as well, similar to real estate. Really, the only difference is you don't get the depreciation like you do on real estate, the tax savings.
Right.
But, that's why, I'm still buying real estate for the tax savings. But I think the cash flow that you can make on crypto is more than you can in real estate. Again, different benefits on both.
Right.
But there's no vacancies, there's no repairs, there's no tenant issues.
Right.
You just get paid.
Right. I would say, as somebody who's studied and invested in crypto, the only other thing is just like the risk to zero is much higher. Like the house ain't going to zero.
Yeah.
Like crypto can go to zero very fast. And, other than that, but yeah, I mean, I've seen these, what is it, where you can stake the coins and that way, people can use them and whatever. And I've seen a lot of them paying just like crazy return, like, double digit 10, 20, 30, 40% returns. Like,
yeah,
it's crazy.
There's some, I've seen even 300%.
Well, so funny story. So I was in this crypto called Bunny one time. Guys, don't buy Bunny. One of my buddies like, dude, you got to buy Bunny. I was like, all right, I'll buy it. So I bought I don't even remember. I think it was $100,000 of Bunny.
Nice.
And going literally off his word, because this guy's made tens of millions in crypto. I trust him. And Bunny doubled, and I did flip it and make a lot of money. But the funny thing with Bunny was it is like that. It pays like 365% APY, or I don't even know what it was paying, but
Crazy.
They were just minting new bunnies every day. And so, yeah, if Bunny went up, I got more bunnies, and then Bunny went up too, and then I was just making bank. And I was like, this is great. But then guess what? Bunny went to zero.
Yeah.
Not too long after I sold, thankfully. And then I ended up buying back into Bunny because I'm like, Bunny can't be zero forever. You know, it's made me money before. Let's run it back. And I bought in at like $20 or something. And yeah, then I ended up selling it and losing money. So I think Bunny, I broke even at the end of the day. But yeah, just these yields are nuts.
Yeah. I mean, you said it best. It's very high risk, very high return. Like, I definitely don't recommend people going, 100% all in on these things, because going to zero, but like a 95% drop has happened before, which is a lot. So I agree with you for sure. It's very, very high risk and very high reward. Like in real estate, we talk returns on real estate, 10, 20% is like a, solid return. In crypto, people are like, oh, it's only going to do a 5X.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's 500%. But again, I've been on the other side of that as well.
Yeah, no, it went down 95%. Yeah. No, it's true. And I think the attractive thing to crypto is I guess it's so big for millennials and young people because it is literally like gambling. I mean,
100%.
Outside of the top 5 or 10 coins, the rest of them to me are just a pure gamble. Like, dude, it cracks me up. People are like, dude, this coin's going to change the world. It says XYZ. I'm like, dude, that coin is literally just for gambling. Like, it's literally just there to get the founders rich, the founders' buddies rich, and then, you might get lucky with them.
Yeah. And everybody else is left holding.
Everyone else is donezo.
Yeah. Crap coins. Like, that's all it is. It's literally gambling.
It is gambling. But damn, I love gambling, dude. I love it. And that's what it always attracts me back to crypto is like the thrill that, I might get a 5X.
Yeah.
And you know what? I might lose it all. There's no in between.
Agreed. Definitely agreed.
But here's the thing. I do believe in Bitcoin long term. I've said this multiple times, even though I currently don't own any. I've sold out. But I do believe in it long term. I do believe it's going to get to, over 100,000 soon. I believe that at some point it'll probably be worth over $1 million. How many years it takes to get there, I don't know.
Yeah.
But, I think if you could sit on it, you are going to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
But then again, the question is, could you have put it in something else that made more than Bitcoin? And that's kind of the dilemma for everyone.
Yeah. It's opportunity cost.
Yeah.
Like 3 days ago, right before the most recent crash in crypto, I was looking just at all my coins, and I was like, I was going to trade because I wanted more of one of the coins. But then I was sitting there like, well, what if this one goes up after I trade? Well, what if that one goes up after I trade? And it's literally like somewhat guessing. And it's, hit or miss sometimes.
Yeah. And what's crazy is it's just, man, trading crypto is really hard. Like,
oh my gosh.
Not just trying to trade and time the market and stuff, but like literally just buying and selling the coin is really hard.
Like, actually, like just the process.
Yeah, the process of dude, for me to go buy Bunny, it was like a nightmare. I was like, what do I have to do again? Oh, well, you got to get on this chain. You got to download these 3 apps. You've got to convert, this to that. I was like, what is going on here? Yeah. They're like, oh, you need wrap Bitcoins for this one. And I was like, I don't get it. I don't even want to trade.
And like the on-ramp to get money into the space, there's like limits on everything.
Yeah.
Like, it's very time sensitive just to get money into the thing.
Yeah, if you want to make a trade like tomorrow, it ain't happening.
No chance. You got like 5 days of clearing and all this other crap. But also I see that's why the opportunity is what it is. I wasn't around when internet came about, but when I've talked to people that have, like, getting logged into the internet was like impossible. And now you just pull up your phone and everybody's connected to the internet. So I think we're like still in the very early adapters phase. Right. And once that process becomes easier, I don't know how and I don't know when, but hopefully it does. But once that happens, it's going to be a mass onboarding. Like, I did a vote on my Instagram page. And, you know, people that follow me, you would think have a desire for more in their life, right? You know, and I posted on there, I was like, how many of you are in Bitcoin? I mean, in crypto. And there was like 35% of people who said yes. And then the next one was, you know, if you voted yes, how many of you have bought real coins versus crap coins? And then it was like 20% of people said real coins, and everybody else said crap coins. So when you do the math on it, it was like 15% of my following, which are, you know, educated people that want more, have even put money into crypto. So I still think we're very early on in the adoption phase.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because it's like Bitcoin has become, you know, like I would say the older, more sophisticated people want Bitcoin. Young people are like, oh, I don't want Bitcoin. Like I want the next 100X coin. Yeah, for real. Like that's how they act. And I don't know. I want to do that too, I guess. But what coin you hold the most of right now?
Hex.
Okay.
HEX.
What's the second one?
Cardano.
Okay.
And then Bitcoin.
Okay. What about Ethereum?
I just hold Ethereum for the gas fees. So I think I own like 2 or 3 Ethereum or something.
Yeah. Gosh, those gas fees are high.
Oh my gosh! I looked up yesterday. It said $5,900. I was like, who in the world would do this?
What are these guys doing?
Agreed. But like that goes back to your point. Like, what are gas fees? Why do you need gas fees? You know,
Yeah.
I didn't even know you had to hold Ethereum, and I couldn't trade because I didn't hold Ethereum.
Couldn't pay the gas.
Yeah. So like you said, it's definitely a learning process to understand just how to move money in crypto.
Yeah, and that's kind of the one thing I'm thinking about adoption-wise is like, man, how is this going to become simpler? Because the dilemma I see is people are like, oh, no, you can't hold your money on Coinbase. They're centralized. Like they can – that's the whole point of crypto is to not have anyone else control your money.
Yeah.
You know, your wallet, your keys or whatever they say, or your keys, your wallet. And I'm thinking, well, Coinbase is the only not the only, but I can go buy a bunch of different coins on Coinbase very simply. I know I don't have to hide my key and worry about losing it. I don't have to go get a Trezor. I don't have to do nothing.
Yep.
I just download the app, and I'm pretty confident Coinbase is going to watch it pretty good.
Yeah.
And I think the majority of people are like that, and it's just funny because the whole point of crypto was decentralization,
Yeah.
and yet as we actually do it, we're like, most people are like, I actually don't want that.
Yeah.
I'd rather a centralized thing just do it for me.
Yeah, I mean, I have like 13 wallets. I have inscriptions of my like key secret recovery phrase, you know, hidden in multiple locations, and like it's stressful at times. I'm like, well, what if somebody finds it? You know,
Dude, I know it's scary.
So I'm with you. I don't know how it gets to mass adoption. You know, obviously, I hope that it does.
I think it will. I'm just like, I think it's just going to become centralized.
Probably, yeah, probably. I mean, I think it'll integrate with like potentially integrate with like banks and stuff, and that's like as centralized as you can get.
Yeah,
but that's the easiest on ramp for people.
right.
So we'll see. 3 to 5. My outlook is 3 to 5 years. No idea what it's going to do today, tomorrow, next week, next month. But I believe in 3 to 5 years, I'll be sitting in a much better position than what I am today. Hopefully.
Right. One thing I've thought about too with crypto is, they talk about Bitcoin's halving and all that stuff, and I'm like, you know what? I'll buy it the next, tank.
Yeah.
Because it's just like it will tank at some point, and like everybody says, okay, just you hold through it. As long as you hold through it, you're gonna win, and it's true. You will. I mean, the last 10 plus years, if you sat through everything, you killed it
For sure.
But dang, it's hard to do that.
It's the opportunity cost. Like we love to move and move money and make new investments. And when you see a loss that big, without selling, you're just sitting there like, oh man, well, what if this? What if that?
Yeah.
So it's all emotion. I mean, that's what the trading is. It's 100% emotion.
Yeah. Bitcoin is the the biggest test of like human emotion, because it's just like, hey, if you could sit through this crazy waves, you'll make money.
Yeah.
But if and you got to be disciplined enough never to touch it.
Yeah.
Because you won't be able to time it.
Agreed.
I've yet to find anybody who's like just the best at timing crypto.
I mean, there's somewhere out there, but it's very, very few people. Like you can never time the market. I mean, it's impossible. It's like buying real estate at the peak. Like, when's the people have been saying that the peak was months and years ago.
Right.
Like, we're still running.
Yeah.
So I don't timing things are impossible. You know, if it's a good deal, if you believe in it, pull the trigger on it.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? If you're going to hold these coins long term, you know, look at it from that perspective of, do I believe in a long term, but also the cash flow, like you said. Like, okay, I can stake this thing and go make whatever it makes, and I do believe in the coin long term. I'm not just only taking it for the cash flow. It's very similar to real estate that way. It's like, man, do I want to go buy in a cash flow market where I know long term it's probably not going to be great, but I'll cash flow, or do I want to be in an appreciation market where, hey, long term, this Bitcoin going to $1 million, you know, and like I don't have to worry about it going to zero, like a lot of these other coins that, you know, have a very high chance of going to zero.
Yeah, agreed. And again, I think it's both. You know, I don't think it's one or the other. I mean, it's crossed my mind to sell like my rental portfolio and go all into crypto.
Jeez, dude, you're crazy. I love it.
Very heavily crossed my mind. I haven't done it, and I'm not going to. But you know, I think it's having a balance of all the above.
What percentage of your net worth is in crypto? What would you guess?
Maybe about half right now.
Nice.
Yeah. So,
dude,
I'm betting on it.
I love that, dude. I'm with it. I'm at zero right now. I'm at zero, and I shouldn't be. I should have been at whatever I was at before.
That's funny. I mean, it will crash, right? You know, every 4 years they say it crashes 80-90%. So,
which is supposed to be like at the end of this year or something.
That's what they say. Yeah.
That's what the graph says.
Yeah.
That's what makes me hesitant because
I know.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, they're gonna get me, dude. That Bitcoin's gonna hit 100K, and by the time I get in, I'm be like, yeah, it's going to 150.
Yep.
You know, you see these different models. I've seen that stock to flow model where, you know, they're like, okay, it's got a chance, like it should go to 100, potentially even almost 300.
Jeez.
And I'm like, it ain't going to, come on, man. Like,
that's crazy.
And then, but 100, yeah. I mean, I could definitely see that. And
Yeah.
then I could see it tanking to 30 right after I buy it.
No, 100%. I mean, it's, yeah. I look at it long term. You know, I feel like if you're looking at it short term, I mean, you definitely can lose 100%.
Yeah, I think, man, and I just don't want to be like the people that we hear in real estate all the time. We're like, I'll buy when it dips.
Yeah. And then they never buy.
They never buy.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that person. But at the same time, it's like crypto's a little different in that with real estate, there's no like, hey, every 4 years this thing tanks.
Yeah.
Like this is very cyclical, like almost to a T with crypto on how much you know it's going to tank.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, man, the history says it will do this here very soon versus real estate, dude. We have no idea.
I mean, even if real estate dips 10%, like it's not the end of the world, and it's going to come right back.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. I've heard people talking about all the time, you know, is this a good time to buy real estate? Should I buy a house right now? Yes. If the deal makes sense, buy the house.
Yeah, and if it cash flows today, you cannot lose.
Yeah. It doesn't matter the value.
Yeah.
Value could be cut in half. As long as you're cash flowing, you're good.
Yeah, you just sit on it and everything. The problem with crypto is, you know, for most people, they're not cash flowing. So it's like if it dips in half, they're just like
sitting there.
What did I do? And they're not paying off any principal or other things that we get by holding real estate. The only benefit to holding crypto is hoping it goes up.
Appreciation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's why we're in real estate.
Yeah. And our tax benefits, our principal pay down. So yeah, I'll never stop buying real estate just because of everything we're talking about. People ask me, they're like, dude, why even still buy real estate? Like, you got these other things that are paying so much. I'm like, dude, real estate's where it's at. I don't care how much money you make. You have to buy it.
Agree. And even if you talk to all the crypto people that are making millions, they're all like, oh man, I got to get into real estate. I got to buy some property on real estate. Like it's been around forever and it's going to be around. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And I think what people miss a lot is the tax advantages. You know, they just look at it from a cash flow perspective or an appreciation perspective. But the tax savings is so big, and I don't think really people even take that into account.
No, I mean, that's why I started a fund. That's why I'm trying to buy big deals. So I'm like, dude, if I buy big deals, not only am I going to get a lot of cash flow and equity and net worth, but mainly I'm trying to not pay taxes.
100%. 100%.
That's the only legal way to do it.
Yeah.
Buy a lot of real estate, be a professional. You won't have to pay many taxes.
100%. Take the depreciation on it.
Yeah. It's crazy, dude. So what's the next play for you, man, as you go forward?
Yeah, man. I mean, we was talking about this at lunch today. I know whatever great opportunity comes will come from social media, whether that's a affiliate or a joint venture or a business opportunity or a business partner or whatever it is, you know, somebody, somehow, some way, I believe will come through social media. So, you know, I'm putting a lot of time, energy, and efforts into growing that. And then obviously, you know, continuing to do real estate, continuing to do crypto. But I genuinely see it on the social media side.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, man. And that's the exciting thing is, you know, we can bet on ourselves and go get that 10X.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. You know, I love gambling on crypto and, you know, even real estate, right? You know, it's an investment and a lot of it is out of your control, but I'm in complete control of me, my personal brand, my businesses, how I want to, you know, adapt and change them. And so it's exciting to be in an era when we're able to do that.
Agreed.
This didn't exist 10 years ago.
No.
So it's crazy, dude. Well, where can everyone find you?
Yeah. So Instagram at Austin Rutherford, TikTok at Austin Rutherford, YouTube Austin Rutherford, or theaustinrutherford.com.
Cool, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on, dude. Spitting some crypto wisdom, spitting some inspiring stuff about just buying all these houses and, you know, doing crazy rehabs. Super cool, dude. And we'll have to get you back on. And guys, if you enjoyed this episode, definitely go hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace. Thanks for watching The Ryan Pineda Show. If you want to work with me, head over to ryanpineda.com. You can find my courses, coaching programs, and upcoming events. We also have free resources you can download, so head over to ryanpineda.com.